This is television for the Isles of Scilly, brought to you with Worldwide Financial Planning, Truro and Penwith College, and the Scilly Lottery. From Radio Scilly, this is scillytv.com. From this autumn, islanders or visitors who let their dogs foul public spaces will be subject to on-the-spot fines of £85. Andy Thomas is from the Community Safety Partnership.
The short answer is the orders are on their way. The thing is, it's quite a convoluted process to get them started, and of course, as we're dealing with it's going to be money being taken off people in terms of fines, we have to be very careful as to how we approach this and make sure everything is legally sound. And so a lot of work has gone into making sure that we are doing things correctly. There is a correct way of going about starting the orders, and things to do with how they should be advertised and when and where you can use them, etc., etc. There's an awful lot of guidance. So we are very close now to bringing them in. I would say it would be around, we are looking at autumn. Certainly will be no later than that, but I'm thinking around November, October possibly, that they might well be in effect on Scilly. The short answer is, once they've been caught, once the order has been set up, it would then therefore be an offence punishable by a fine of £1,000 if you are caught breaching an order. So once you are caught, we could, if we so wish, take you straight to court and start legal proceedings. The idea behind the fixed penalties is that hopefully such a thing would act as a deterrent. People don't particularly want to go to court and get a £1,000 fine, so the £75 that would be offered as a fixed penalty notice rather than a court appearance hopefully would go some way to convincing people that it's actually a bad idea to be doing this and is going to hit you in the pocket. So perhaps it's worth your time carrying a bag and dealing with the mess as it happens. Some people are shocked and genuinely upset to have received a letter. People's reactions vary, but we don't send a letter unless we know for sure through witnesses coming forward, or be that a member of the public, several members of the public, or our dog warden seeing something, and us obviously having a chat, sit down with those witnesses and making sure that everything is to our liking, if you want, so there's no chance that anything can be contested. We feel we would, once we then send the letter, as I say, people's reactions do vary. People do get very defensive about it, and that's to be expected. On the whole, no, you shouldn't really notice much, apart from we are looking to extend the period for which people aren't permitted on some of the beaches on the islands. Whereas that used to run from the 1st of May, we are now looking to make that run for the 1st of April. But if people will have a chance to have their say on that when we run the consultation event, so nothing is set in stone as such at the moment. The GU argument, if you like, came about in the beginning because one of the agencies involved was very keen to keep dogs off the uninhabited islands, and of course GU kind of fell in a grey area there, where it isn't recognised as one of the 5 inhabited islands of the Scillies, as we like to think of the Scillies. The latest set of order guidance that we've come up with has actually scrapped the idea of dogs being banned from the uninhabited islands. So, as I said before, the orders will be pretty much in line with what we already have in place, albeit that we can now issue fixed penalties. So no, the GU thing is a bit of a red herring, let's say. You are the owner of the dog, much like if you have a child, it's still your child, unfortunately. So if there is an expectation for you to have some control over your animal, be your animal with you at the time, or even with someone else. Someone else could be walking it. you know, there is a raft of guidance out there that we can look at, and you know, there are some exceptions and exclusions that, you know, you might fall under if your dog is fouling, that may enable you to not pay the fine. But a lot of these things have been thought about quite a lot in the guidance. So I mean, dog ownership was one of the big ones. So yeah, it is very much recognised that if it is your dog, you should either A, trust the person who's taking your dog out, or B, you know, have a real interest in what is happening to your dog when you've not got your eye on it. Because if it's not affecting you, it's going to be affecting someone if it's outside. So you've got to accept that. Well, I hope to see that in the consultation. I would imagine a fair few people, particularly dog owners, have got very strong views on it. Likewise, I expect people who don't own dogs to have quite strong views on it. And I expect those views to be quite polarised, but we'll know more in October.